Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, bad break for the Yankees, or should I say bad bruise. This mystery bone bruise by Max Fried continues, and the Yankees announced that they're going to have to put him back on the 15-day IL, but it's not going to be just 15 days there, so maybe it puts the rest of the season in jeopardy for Max Fried, just on the cusp, as this Yankee rotation was finally going to start to come together. We've been dreaming about for 2 years, but calls for Rodón soon to return, and now since Fried is going to go on the IL, it actually brings Rodón back a little bit sooner, who might have gotten a rehab start, but he will at least start the opening game in Baltimore. But of course, all the news and all the the worry concerns about Max Fried, and is it potentially the last we're going to see of him of 2026. Again, the last bone bruise lasted 2 months there, so we'll look at that situation. Again, the Yankees, strong, in the starting rotation, but again, we were dreaming of having those four at the top, with Fried being either like a number 2 or number 3 there. Now, I'm not sure we're going to see him for the rest of the season. And of course, Rodón always has his, elbow and injuries as well, and issues as well. So, even though he's coming back, we're not sure how long he's going to last there. So, not good for the Yankees, but we'll focus on that, as well as a little positive news on Cody Bellinger is going to start a rehab assignment this week. So at least maybe get him back on the field. Not that he was like, hitting like Lou Gehrig before he went down. But, again, any bat they can use right now, just the offense continues to be lifeless. And Yankees is damn lucky to get that last game at Toronto, which, would have just been a complete meltdown. But obviously get a good home run by Ben Rice there to salvage one game there up in Toronto. So we'll get into the whole thing. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Section 420 Talk Yankees, the podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcast. There's also a YouTube version of the show. Go to YouTube, search for Section 420 Talking Yankees, and subscribe there as well. So Max Fried, on the Thursday, the finale afternoon game against Seattle, where pitched pretty decently. Went through 5 innings, only gave up 1 run. You didn't think anything was wrong. We didn't hear anything that was wrong. But the Yankees making the announcement on Monday the 17th that, I guess, retroactive the game after that, which would be the 14th, Friday the 14th, they're going to put him on the 15-day IL starting that day. Buys the Yankees a couple of days of, again, a matter of him coming back sooner or not there. But again, this is the same bone bruise injury he had last time, and that last time cost him 2 months there. So, last time I checked the calendar, it's halfway, almost over the halfway point of August. So, is this going to be another 2-month situation? And that kind of means he's done for 2026. So, I don't know the severity of the thing. And it's similarly, again, it's a bone bruise. They say it's from hyperextension of the elbow. There was no contact. It's not like he got hit by a line drive up the middle, or someone swung a bat and hit him. Again, this has all just been from his hyperextending the elbow. Somehow that causes a bruise. Someone will explain that to me someday. But this is the same injury he had before there. And since the time he came back, he said that maybe that one bad start in Chicago. But other than that, he's been pretty good there. So I don't know, was he pitching through it the whole time? Has he been pitching in pain? Hard to say. Last time he had to take himself out of that game. Again, the first time this happened against the Orioles. This seems as something that happened afterwards. So hard to say what the severity is, and maybe they're just being cautious of it. It's like, all right, you know what, I can pitch through this a little bit, but maybe I need a couple of weeks off. So I don't know. That could be the case there. There's all talk about, the Yankees obviously have relied on the starting pitching. A lot of these guys are throwing a lot of innings they're not used to. So, is this a way to sort of manage inning limits and stuff like that, just to keep these guys fresh? So if and when, playoffs do come and this team's involved in there, these pitches aren't all burnt out. I don't know. That could be one conspiracy theory. But, it's not like free to throw a ton of innings. Again, he was out on the IL for 2 months there. So I don't think that's a situation with him. But you got to worry about guys like Ryan Weathers, Cam Schlittler, both these guys, pitching full major league seasons as a starter for the first time there. So at some point, they're going to have to load manage them, for some September there. But as for Max Fried, the news is going to sound dire there. So, I'm assuming he's going to come back sometime in September, waiting for a lot of guys to come back in September there. But definitely a blow. But again, more of an annoyance because as the Yankees right now, 6 games back in the American League East, still within the earshot. Really, I said this in the previous podcast episode here, that the Yankees should really send Baltimore like a bouquet of flowers and champagne for, beating Tampa for a couple of games. Because the losing the Yankees did, the first 2 games and of course the final games against the Mariners, dropping 3 games in a row. And then the fact that, imagine if Tampa won like 3 games in a row. And the Yankees right now could easily be like 8 or 9 games back, where you say forget about the American League East. So Baltimore doing the Yankees a big favor, and Baltimore could also do the Yankees a big favor by losing 3 games against the Yankees. That definitely would help too as well there. But we've been seeing that the offense has been really struggling. So there really hasn't been much to look forward to. All we got to look forward to is wow, this starting rotation, which has been great right now, even with the loss of Fried right now. The Yankees, had the best ERA amongst starting rotations across baseball at 3.38. But it's the fact that, Rodón was just about to come back, and we were going to finally have what we've been waiting for 2 years, Cole, Schlittler, Rodón, Fried. I mean, have those top 4 horses there, and just to see what that would look like. And the Yankees would probably still lose games because they can't score any runs there, but just to have that would have been nice. It would have just been refreshing, just some good positive news for once, something for us to look forward to. But now, as soon as Rodón's just about to come back, Fried has to go down there. So again, it's annoying. And of course, I mentioned at the introduction, Rodón, who possibly might have had one more minor league start, but just the fact that he was lined up for the Tuesday, and obviously with Fried going to the IL, it opens up a roster spot. It just makes sense to then start Rodón for the game. That's kind of what they did with Max Fried when he came back. He was supposed to throw a minor league game, but then of course with the rain out against Pittsburgh, the doubleheader, they had him pitch the nightcap game, and that's a game the Yankees won 2-0. So it's a similar situation where just because the situation called for it, you might as well throw Rodón out there and just hope he's helping. Again, he was dealing with the sore elbow issue as well. No structural damage, but he's always been a bit of an injury risk as well there. So you're getting to hold your breath a little bit and just hope he could, make it through his way, at least into the playoffs there. Because again, we're not 100% sure if Fried's going to come back or not. Again, I'm just reading the tea leaves. Probably does, but it's just annoying. We're not going to get to see these 4 guys at once there. It just would have been something nice where, during a period here where the Yankees, since the trade deadline, the offense has been absolutely putrid or horrible there, so there hasn't been much to look forward to other than that. And as I mentioned before, Bellinger at least now going to start a rehab assignment in AAA this week. I don't know, maybe I don't know how many games he needs to ramp up. I would assume sometime by, at least by the end of the month. I mean, he definitely should be done, but maybe by next week. At least you have Cody Bellinger in play. And I've been hearing all sorts of things on when Stanton's going to come back, whether they're going to rush him back or not, stuff like that. Now, obviously, when September comes, the Yankees can expand the roster a little bit, so they might wait just for that. So even if Stanton technically could be ready sooner, that means if he does come up, they might have to force someone down, into AAA. I'm not sure if they want to do that. I don't know who that person would be. So again, the theory is that, at least for Stanton, it's definitely going to be September 1st or after this, because when the roster expands, you can add him to the roster and doesn't force you have to send a pitcher or send someone down that you don't want to send down there. So that seems to be the case. So if that's a situation, and it's a situation that Judge is just now running a little bit, playing catch and actually swinging off the tee. If I got to see the pecking order here, it seems Bellinger comes back first, probably followed by Stanton, and Judge might be last. And again, we're not even guaranteed of Judge again because he hasn't even swung a bat yet. So that all remains to be seen. So not good for the Yankees right now. Again, the starting pitching, even without Fried, is still strong enough. This is still, I would say, a playoff team. At this point, looking like more like one of the wild card spots or the top wild card spots in that. But if they're going to go into this without Max Fried, without Judge maybe, and the way this offense is right now, even with the strong starting pitching, and we can see what someone like Cam Schlittler could do in the playoffs, what we see them do against Boston, I still can't see this team going far. So they're still going to need those big pieces back, and now Fried's just yet another piece now that you're going to lose, and you're not even sure it's coming back or not. So not much to be happy about, but at least the Yankees now go to Camden Yards, get to see Carlos Rodón, and just hope he could pick up the slack and keep that staff's ERA in top notch as has been so far. Catch you next time.